Alright, so we are going to talk about, well, give a little book review about the great book Obsidian by Jennifer Armentrout. The first book in the Lux series is Obsidian, followed by Onyx, followed by Opal. Then you have Origin, and then you have Opposition with prequel Shadows in it as well. If you love books that are filled with action, that are honestly just different, like for me, I've read a lot of books and Obsidian was different. Basically you're following through the eyes and thoughts of the girl Katy, who moves from the big city to a more smaller rural country town in West Virginia. Her house is like one of the few on the block. Her mom kind of encourages her to make nice with the neighbors, who happen to be two teenagers, a boy and a girl. The main characters are the boy, his name's Daemon, and the girl, her name is Katy. Now, there's all throughout the books, there is a tug of war between Daemon and Katy. Katy is a nice nerdy girl who happens to do book reviews, and Daemon's this broody, bad boy-esque, arrogant male character, teenager. You know, he's good-looking, muscular, but he tends to be kind of a prick. Their tug of war tends to be over Daemon's little sister. Katy wants to be her friend. Daemon's sister wants to be Katy's friend. Daemon's not for it at all. Well, through some events, Daemon ends up stopping time in front of Katy, which basically sheds the light that he's an alien. That's not a spoiler, I promise. Even though if you buy the book online, you're going to see, oh, it's more mysterious. But I promise you, when I got the book in the mail, it says it on the back, alien. So it's not a spoiler. Jennifer, I guess, really wanted to just think outside the box and create a story that basically, instead of it being witches and warlocks and all that, it's aliens. Which a lot of people, you know, Area 51, you know, New Mexico, all that stuff, Roswell, people are into that sort of thing. So apparently she was like, I'm going to write a story about it. She did a great job. This book is definitely a page turner. Some books you tend to have to, you know, slowly get into, you know, the meats and potatoes of the book. Honestly, as soon as I picked up Obsidian, I started, you know, flipping. I was like, ooh, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? What's going to happen with her? How is Katy going to handle this? Why did Daemon do that? So, if you're into books like that, where you have every character, their personalities, attributes, or what have you, is thoroughly presented in the book. You get to know every single character. You kind of understand their way of thinking without them having to write a whole book about what they're thinking. PSA, I do not like books like that. You can kind of figure out how people are thinking. You don't need a whole book repeating the same events through another person's eyes. That seems kind of silly to me. But that's my opinion. That's my opinion. This book follows Katy. It sheds light on Daemon's thoughts. It sheds light on other people's actions and why they acted that way. It also, whatever it leaves off of on the first book, if there's a cliffhanger, it basically picks up right from there. I personally am not a fan of books where you have the first book and then you go to the second book and months have passed and then the second book starts. No! If you end with Katy getting in a car accident in the first book, the second book should be them pulling Katy out of the car accident. That's not what happens. That's just an example. But that's basically how this book is. Every book continues. It's continuing, and then the ending is honestly filled with closure that I personally didn't want any. I didn't want anything else. After I read the last book, I was like, okay, I closed the chapter. I understand what happened. I understand what's going on. I can see where their future is going. Love it. Jennifer also writes a book about some of the characters called Shadows. That's a prequel of Obsidian. I personally didn't read it, even though it was attached to Opposition. Shadows is in this copy that I got. I didn't read it because like I said, I don't really do prequels unless I start with the prequel. And how this book was written, I didn't need to start with the prequel because the prequel doesn't have to do with Katy and Daemon, so I personally just didn't see the point of reading it. But if you are interested in it, they have a prequel. How the events are described, it's you feel like you're there. Like Jennifer describes the smell of things, the feel of things, where as you're reading, it builds into your mind what's happening. You almost feel like you're like a fly on the wall, seeing what Katy's dealing with, seeing what Daemon's dealing with. And a book like that, in my opinion, is a page turner. So without giving things away, Obsidian is a great book. It's dynamic. It's filled with lots of dynamic. Its climaxes are climaxes. Like they're there, they're up, they're huge. They capture attention. The books just make you want to keep reading and reading. I finished the whole series, that's 5 books, about a week and a half. And the only reason it took me a week and a half is because I had a lot of things to do the weekend. I had all the books. And after I read the first book, I had to wait for the other 4 to come in the mail because I ordered them in the mail. They're only like $10 a piece, so they're very thrifty. And for them to be so thrifty, they're very good. Yeah, if you're into aliens and love and fighting and explosions and, you know, government conspiracy and stuff like that, yeah. All of that is in these books. Like, I bought Obsidian just thinking, oh, little small town girl action, how cute. And I got so much more out of the series that I'm happy I purchased them. I'm happy I didn't rent them. I'm happy I have hard copies. So if I ever want to pick it up again and just try to read it with a new perspective, I can. I hope this non-spoiler explanation and encouragement has you saying, I'm going to add that on my Amazon list. But it can be found on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, and Walmart. I bought mine through Amazon. So, there you go. Again, I hope this helps. I hope you feel your little alien interest tingling and want to say, I want to know what happens with Daemon and Katy. She didn't tell me anything. Good. That's what I wanted. I wanted to pique your interest just enough where you want to go order the book and read it for yourself. So, it's called Obsidian by Jennifer Armentrout. Go pick it up. Thanks. Keep reading.